All right, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to share with you how I write my YouTube descriptions extremely quickly and become very efficient at it by using a script. Stay tuned. I'll give you some things to think about as we get into this video. All right, so you might be looking at writing your YouTube descriptions, and if you're putting out a lot of video content time after time, that really gets kind of annoying because you have to think about what you're writing. And especially if you're making similar videos, there's no process. You have to constantly retype things and you're thinking about it. So anyways, in order to make things more efficient, there's a couple of different ways that you could go about it. So I'll share with you some of those thoughts. So I have a couple different channels. This is one channel. This is Critical Charts. I have another channel that if you go to YouTube and you go to TradersFly, TradersFly's official. This one is my stock investing channel, so that's another one. So we produce a lot of different video content on investing. Then I also have this Backstage income channel as well. So I'm managing a lot of videos, and when I'm managing these videos, there's always looking for productivity and how to make things more fast and efficient. And one of those ways, by the way, if you're looking to get a domain name, you can check out my sponsor and go to porkbun.com. That's where they have great domain names at a great price. Also makes it a very efficient to change registration data and much more. But anyways, so if you're looking to write your descriptions, you could do something with text expander programs. So if you go to PhraseExpress, there's text programs where if you just type a couple of phrases or a couple of, let's say, lines of text, then it'll start popping up. The other way is a script, which I'm going to show you here as well. Now, both of these, you can do a little bit more due diligence and research on them because they're all a little bit different. So you could go the software route where if you just type in, like, let's say I'll type in, like, here's my coding program. But let's say I type in a couple of things right here, like I type 3 equal signs, and you can see I can choose like one of these and it'll give me like my YouTube description. What it does is like it'll pop things out. I can type things here, and then I could check mark some hash marks, so it'll create a form. And then what it can do is, boom, pop out my YouTube description. So that's going to get it all kind of ready, and now I'm good to go. Now, the problem with this is it's a little more difficult to do the actual descriptions at the top that are more customized. So this top part right here, you have to manually do. So for that, what I do is I've created little PHP scripts, which is programming. You could do this pretty much with a lot of different programs, but you have to install a few things locally. You could do this also on your web server if you want, or pay somebody to do it for you. But I just want to show you as a business owner to open you up to how to make this more efficient for you. So here's how it works, really. So I'm typically creating like stock and investing reviews based on charts and based on what the stock is doing. So what I do is I define things based on a variable. So here I have a ticker symbol. So I've defined that. And what I do is I change this and a stock name, and I'll change this. And then what I have is kind of like these arrays. Now, it might not be the most efficient way of doing it, but I've got these arrays here where here's my introduction part. Let's talk about, and then the ticker, TSM, or let's discuss, and then right here, it's time to take a deep dive into, boom. So you can see I basically create a lot of variations. So what this does is then it fills in the gaps as needed, and it outputs the results. So what I can do is, let's say I'm doing Disney, so it'll be Disney here, and I'll change it to Disney. And then what I'll do is I'll save it. And locally, I have a local host running this, which again is more technical beyond this video. But what we'll see is if I hit refresh, do you think Disney is a hot stock? Let's review Disney and how well it's moving based on the technicals. So you can see what it did is, do you think Disney is a hot stock? Do you think, and then it'll put Disney is a hot stock. Let's, and then I put a secondary part, the close of it, review the technicals of Disney. So it'll randomize these things. I put a little bit of a randomization in here, these things, and it'll combine one item from here plus one item from here, and now I've got myself a sentence structure. Isn't that pretty cool? And I don't have to really write it out. So here's a, and if I hit refresh, if I don't like that one, then boom, here's another one. When do you think Disney will start to make its move? Today we will review Disney and how well it's moving based on the technicals. Again, the more you refresh, you get different variations, and that'll give you and run you through a lot of different variations. Not perfect. You can always add in your own phrase and statement if you like, so there's not a problem, but it just gives me a starting point. Now, I go in and do some other things that are a little bit deeper into here. I choose direction in here, so if you actually look at my full script, and I'll zoom out a little bit for you. You can see I've got things with if statements, directions. I've got words that get substituted and much more. So as we dig back into this, and I go into my local host here, and then I'll go into like my YouTube SEO. Here's one where I have multiple paragraphs here really that run, and I can choose different parts and clips. So, you know, what I do is I refresh, and all these paragraphs kind of change based on my needs, and I pull and extract different parts. I might take a part from here, a part from here, and apart from here, and I've got myself a description. So it works really well. You know, you can make it more and more advanced if you like. I've got it, you know, where I've got a couple different paragraphs and versions for different things that I need, and I constantly expand on it from time to time. But basically, from a baseline, you look at creating a couple of phrases here, and then it combines it. I've also substituted things like words that are trending, like let's say it's trending, heading, moving, pushing the stock, or taking the stock. So this way it changes that up. Otherwise it's always going to be it's moving the stock, it's moving the stock, it's moving the stock. This way it's trending or moving or heading. So it's kind of like creating my own little thesaurus within the description that I want based on the words that I want to use. And that really starts building it out a lot nicer. So anyways, the point of this is not to really teach you exactly how to do this, but to make you think how to properly do it and make it more efficient. So it may take you an hour or two to kind of get this started, but rather than spending like 7-10 minutes thinking about each description, this helps you quickly generate it looking at the long term. So anyways, you can see the code here, and I just kind of scroll through it for you. Basically, I define some variables. Everybody's description is going to be different. And then as I define some variables, I went ahead, created some arrays for different things. I randomized those arrays right there. And then what I'll do is echo that out. But you have to be running a PHP server like I believe, or XAMPP. I don't know how they call it, but you run that and then you're able to output it. Otherwise, you can have a programmer probably do this for you for a handful of dollars, and then it really saves a bunch of time doing it. So anyways, I hope that helps, opens up your mind to doing these things and giving you some thoughts of, hey, how do I write my description faster? How do I make it efficient? This is one way that I do it. It makes it super quick, and I just constantly tweak these phrases, open them up, add to them, and now I've got unique descriptions every time based on my personal needs. So anyways, thanks for joining me. Hope you got a lot out of this tip and insight, and I will see you in the next video.